It's Homebrew coming at you with a beer review. Today we've got a fun little beer, a hot beer. So I'm told. This is the Habanero Sculpin. This is an American IPA made with Habanero Chillies. If you're not familiar with Sculpin, Sculpin is an amazing little beer, a wonderful IPA by Ballast Brewing out of San Diego, California. And this is the Sculpin. Now I need to thank Brian, my buddy Brian, formerly of Whole Foods. He's just left them. He got me a bottle before he left, and he's got a new job with No Lie Brewing out of Spokane, Washington. So congrats to Brian, and thanks again for this. Wow, okay, I'm kind of excited to try this. This is a 7% ABV, 7.0, and 70 IBUs as well. So we're gonna get this one cracked open and give it a try. All right, that's a nice amber color. It's kind of a honey amber color from my side, and a half finger head there, but that's not bad. When you get the vegetables in there, sometimes it changes things up. Let's get the nose on this. I'm kind of curious. It's not as bad as I thought. I mean, wow, I got some really nice aromas off this. I've heard this was a really hot batch, but I got some beautiful tropical fruits. I got a little bit of caramel on there, so nice backbone on it, but definitely tropical fruits. I got some pineapple right away, which was just wonderful. I can pick up the habanero in it. It's not overwhelming, at least not for me. I get some nice orange on there. And then I get a little bit of stone fruit, some like apricot and maybe even a little peach on there. It's really nice. I'd almost say like some mango and maybe even guava. It's interesting. Oh, yeah, really nice tropical fruits coming off that. I've heard so many people are just overwhelmed by the habanero scent, but I'm not at all. So I'm kind of curious now. So cheers, we're gonna dive in. All right. Oh, all right. There is no question there's heat on this. Not on the sip. The nose. Habanero was there, but it wasn't overwhelming. The first thing that I got right at the front was I got this nice, wonderful sweetness. I mean, some sweet malts with, as I said, these beautiful tropical fruits. I got some mango and pineapple right away. And once that finished the tongue, once I got to mid-palate, maybe a little before, I started tasting those habaneros right away. It semi-dries out, which is kind of nice actually, but that heat is still sitting on the back of my throat, and I've only had one sip. So we're gonna take another. Yeah. There is really nice sweetness on this. You know, I gotta tell you, I do like the sweetness, but the habanero then takes over and dominates it. It's reminiscent for me of like Crime and Punishment, and more on the punishment side, though it's not as high of a alcohol level as Punishment was. But in terms of balance, at least there's a nice sweetness to go along with this to kind of help carry it through. But yeah, I can feel the burn in the back of the throat. I'm starting to feel it hit the tank, which doesn't really have a lot of food in it, so that doesn't help. This actually is a beer that would be really good, I think, with food. One, you really want to have food, so I might save it for dinner, the rest of it. But I could see that this heat could go nice with some like coconut type things. Like think of like a coconut curry. I could see that being really nice, you know. Anyway, I'm gonna sip on this a little bit more, and I'm gonna come back with some conclusions. What can I say? I'm working my way to this beer. It's good to take a break for a minute or two and then sip again, because that heat builds. I don't know what you call it. I'm not a doctor, but you start drinking this and those endorphins or whatever start kicking in, you know. And so I've kind of enjoyed this a little bit. It's fun. When you come back to it after a break, you you are able to pull out those tropical flavors again, which is wonderful because the tropical flavors on this are fantastic. I mean, the base beer is a really good beer. But there is truly, on this batch, I'll have to look at, see if I've got a date on it. It is hot, hot, hot. There's a lot of habanero on there, and the chili heat just hits you hard. All right, I was looking for a date. I didn't see it, but I did notice at the bottom it says, heat may vary. That's your additional warning in very small letters. It's a lighter beer. It's a lighter filling beer. And I think it balanced out fairly well. I think they need less pepper, quite frankly, a lot less. But because there's a lot of sweetness on the beer and all those tropical flavors kind of work. I think a little less heat would probably be good, but I'm rather enjoying it. All right, rating by style. Now, I don't know how you do that. I mean, technically, it's an American IPA, and yet it's technically a vegetable beer. So, hey, let's just go both ways when it comes to rating. So, we've got an American IPA. I mean, it has some wonderful qualities underneath in terms of American IPA because you do get those tropical fruits and some of that orange. Some good stuff in there. Those hop characters are what carry this on the IPA side, but and then the heat just takes over and everything is gone at that point. So, I mean, I don't know how you can rate this as an American IPA. I'd have to rate it super low. I mean, I'd have to give this like about a 78, I'd say, for an American IPA. There's great qualities and then they vanish. As far as a vegetable beer goes, though, I would rate it higher because it has some nice hoppy qualities. And the heat is there. I mean, if that's what you're going for is a heat like a pepper beer, well, this has got it in spades. So I think in terms of pepper beers, I think I'd have to give this about an 88. I can't go higher again because there's too much of the pepper. Overall, it's a fun beer. I could see that the earlier batches that were lighter on the habanero were probably fantastic. I would have loved to have tried that. Because the pepper so dominates, I can't give it a super high rating. I'm going to give it a B-, and we're going to go with an 83 overall. Here it is, folks. This is it. This is the Habanero Sculpin from Ballast Point out of San Diego, California. Man, if you like your heat, I'd say give it a try. This one actually might be a nice beer to have with breakfast with an omelet. Life's too short to drink cheap beer. Sometimes you get some pretty damn hot beer. But I still will see you in the next beer review. Cheers, guys.